It's time for the podcast, which is all about the world of marketing on television through TV shopping networks and infomercials. Are we on the air? I'm your host, Sean Wilsey, and for over 29 years, I've hosted shows on cable shopping networks, generating hundreds of millions of dollars in sales. And now I want to be your guide into this world, explaining how it works, why it works, what doesn't work, and introduce you to the people who are making it the success it is today. In recent shows, we've done a lot of looking back, and today we're going to kind of do a what is going on today sort of thing as we think about the real world, October 2021, as we're recording this. It's one of the interesting things about podcasting is this will live on, and we may look back a year from now, a couple years from now, and say, well, that was fun. What the hell were we thinking? But I think a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about that are happening today, you're going to scratch your head and say, wait a minute, haven't we been through this before? And the answer is yes. And that's why I think the whole world of infomercials and TV shopping, and infomercials is kind of going to be the focus on this particular episode. And I think that's what makes it so interesting, is because it does become such a part of pop culture. Full disclosure, I've never ordered anything off an infomercial in my life. I have never called an 800 number to buy something that I saw advertised on television in an infomercial. Now, TV shopping networks, that's a different thing, but infomercials, not once. However, we all have watched them, we all see them, and so even for someone who says, well, I would never buy anything off of television, hey, you've seen them, you know them. We did a whole show about the big names from the 1990s, very recognizable names and personalities. You see the commercials. And back in the 1990s, when infomercials really were at their heyday, and they were really coming to the front of becoming top of mind and becoming pop culture influencers. You know, you would have Saturday Night Live spoofing them. You know you've made it when SNL spoofs you. And that was happening. So what's happening today is advertisers, and I'm not even saying infomercials necessarily, but regular advertisers are recognizing the value of the 1990s infomercial, and what they're doing is working it into advertising campaigns. The millennial generation takes a lot of the, I was going to say blame. Seems like we just naturally blame them for everything, and that's not fair. They take a lot of the responsibility for this because the millennials are turning out to be a generation that is very obsessed with reminiscing, looking back. Case in point, I just last week found out that bell bottoms are coming back. Didn't know that was going to be a thing again. This will be the third time in my life that bell bottoms have been a thing. But for the millennial generation, this is going to be the first. This will be the first time. But maybe even more to the point, anything from the 1990s is very important to a millennial. And they're looking back on that era in fondness. And advertisers are recognizing that. And they're saying, hey, if we want to really resonate with the millennial customer by spoofing, because it's mainly done in a spoof form, 1990s infomercials is a great way to do it. Some examples. Eminem, yes, rap star Eminem, is also a restaurateur, which I just learned. And he is opening a spaghetti restaurant, apparently based on his mother's or grandmother's recipes in Detroit. And the ad campaign is a very retro 1990s television commercial, infomercial sort of spoof. The cast of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which I have never seen an episode of in my life, but they have reunited in conjunction with Maxwell House, Javalia, and Ethical Bean to put on a commercial in 1990s infomercial sort of format called As Being on TV. And so, again, interesting concepts. Just a little bit of the audio from it. Starts off with some music. And you see Melissa, and I don't know these people.
Joan Hart.
We did a full intro, Melissa.
And I want to talk to you about how much I love coffee. You know, until I've had my first cup of the day, I can be kind of a but I can't legally say with a W?
Lawyers.
It's actually
So,
well
we're
done.
going to celebrate National Coffee Day infomercial style because why not?
Order now.
Oh, we're really doing this. Okay. Maxwell House has been around for over 100 years. We love it because it's consistently good.
Cut to the last drop is the slogan, Melissa.
I know that. Your voice sounds very familiar. Have we met?
For legal reasons, let's say no.
Right. And did you know that you can use the grounds as a degreaser so they can clean pots,
And now she's showing
pans,
how, yes,
even
indeed,
countertops?
clean
And
countertops,
that's not
pans,
all.
and all these.
You can
oh,
fix a
and that's not
scratch in
all.
your kitchen table with a little Maxwell House and vinegar. Who knew? How much do you want some right now? Well, here's how to order.
Order the Maxwell House coffee that keeps you good to go, and you'll also get the all-purpose cleaner and the scratch buffer included because they're literally the same thing.
It's
Plus, when you
very clever and very well done. When I started doing the research for this episode, I thought, okay, this is going to be another Mystery Science Theater one where I'm making fun of all of these attempts at recreating the magic of the 1990s infomercial. They're done with tongue firmly planted in cheek. It is brilliant marketing. It is brilliant advertising. They're just doing a fantastic job with these. The other one is going after and we still see them on TV here in Texas where I live. I don't know about the rest of the country. We still see a lot of the lawyer commercials that really hit the front back in the 1990s. I mean, the aggressive, the assertive lawyer hit by an 18-wheeler. Well, they've got lawyers. You need me on your side. Call the 4s, 4444444. That's an actual in San Antonio thing. But there's a spoof of that going around now about, and I've never heard of this company, but again, brilliant marketing. I know of them now. Alpha Foods. The visual is a guy, looks like an attorney, dressed like an attorney in front of law books, staring at the camera.
Did you unknowingly become vegan because of Alpha Foods plant-based products that taste too good to be true? Visit alphafoodsclassaction.com right now.
After I started eating chicken nuggets from Alpha Foods,
The visual there is a blurred individual speaking to the camera, but it's obvious it's Colonel Sanders.
couldn't help myself. I was hooked. Dadgummit, if they didn't turn this old man into some kind of hippie vegan.
I got duped into becoming vegan, and it makes me sad.
And this is a blurry Ronald
It's my
McDonald.
job to be happy. So I'm suing for lost wages.
Thanks to Alpha Foods, I'm vegan
blurry
now,
Wendy.
and my family is going to disown me.
Help me hammer Alpha Foods so bad that no one will ever again be victimized by a plant or any number of plants. If you turn vegan by happenstance, call 1-833-NO-PLANTS. Did you unknowingly...
Yeah, once was enough. Brilliant. From an advertising standpoint, brilliant job. Taking a product that obviously Alpha Foods, very serious about the quality of their vegetarian imitations of meat and chicken, and goofing on the whole notion that someone would be vegan or vegetarian, that you wouldn't want to be, but their foods are so good that it turned you vegan. It is a brilliant marketing strategy. It is so smart. And again, they're trying to reach that millennial generation with that type of commercial. Now, there's something else that is going on that is very interesting because it's not just the millennials and the night that are fully bringing about the retro 90s infomercial marketing strategies. It is a much easier way of life. It's reminiscing. It is looking back. Life, by comparison, in the 1990s was so much simpler. We didn't have 9/11 in our rearview mirror, COVID in our rearview mirror. So it's a very smart marketing standpoint. Anytime you can pull at easier time, and who would have thought in the heart of the 1990s that we'd be looking back at that as an easier time, but it certainly was. And so there's a comfort factor involved in this. And again, it goes back to the show, if you heard the show we did earlier, about the original pitchmen, and Arthur Godfrey doing the commercial for soup, and how just in his voice made you feel more relaxed, more comfortable, more at home. And that's what a good ad person will do with their commercials, and they're doing a brilliant job with that. Staying on the focus of what's going on today, with regard to infomercials, there is a company that charts what the popular infomercials are as far as the amount of airtime that they're getting, the exposure that they're getting on cable systems and TV stations. And every month they come out with their report. And I thought, I haven't looked at this in forever. And not being someone who, ironically, watches a lot of TV, other than cable shopping networks, I don't watch a lot of infomercials, so I don't know what's being advertised anymore. So I was looking at the list, and some of these products just come to mind immediately. I know what they are. Ninja Foodie Never Stick Cookware, okay? I can just imagine what that is. I have a Ninja, and I'm sure that the cookware is fantastic cookware. A lot of these have been around forever. Plexiderm, Luminous Silk is number 12. Total Gym, number 5. Total Gym's another one. That's been around forever. Omega XL is number 3. A lot of these, just it's the same old. It's fitness. It's health and wellness. That's most of these. Kitchen items. Cookware, highly demonstrable item. That is on the list. One that disturbed me terribly is number 8. And again, I don't want to, for risk of offending anybody, camp meeting is number 8. Pausing for effect. Some people are saying, what is camp meeting? I knew immediately when I read that what it is. 2-hour blocks they usually buy, sometimes 1, sometimes 2-hour blocks of television, mainly late night. When people that are up at 2, 3 in the morning, we know through research, through market research, many times are not sleeping because they have a stress, they have an anxiety. And a lot of the times, the infomercials and television that you see at that hour will be catered towards those people. Camp meeting is a Mike Murdoch thing, who is a multi-gazillionaire televangelist whose sole pitch is send me money and you'll get a good life in return. And he takes biblical quotes, stretches them a lot, in my opinion, but it works for him. The man is a multi-millionaire. Lives in Texas, as a matter of fact, which I'm embarrassed to admit. And again, getting some opinions here, and I always swore I wouldn't do that, so I'm sorry. But he refuses to be interviewed. Reporters that try and talk to him, he won't talk to them. He's seen literally with a briefcase of money handcuffed to his wrist in public. Paid $500,000 for his house in cash, literally in cash. And he is number 8 on the list of infomercials airtime right now. That's, I don't know, but stretch to call it an infomercial, but he's buying the time. You're buying the airtime is considered an infomercial. Here's the one I found interesting. Home Title Lock 2. I'd never seen this, and this is number 2 on the list. Never heard of it. Had no idea what this was. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to find it because you can find them online. I'm going to play a little bit of this for you because, and I haven't watched the whole thing. I watched the first maybe minute, 2 minutes, said this is brilliant. And we're going to listen and kind of analyze it as we go through.
It calls Home Title.
And let me start from 0.
The following is a paid presentation for Home Title Lock.
The FBI calls home title theft one of the fastest growing white-collar cybercrimes in America.
Stopping already just to point out that's Newt Gingrich. Newt Gingrich doing an infomercial. Politics aside, brilliant idea. If you're going to have a product whose sole reason is to help prevent home title theft, I'm a homeowner. Every homeowner's nightmare would be something like that. Let's not get a celebrity to do this. Let's not even get someone from law enforcement. Let's get someone from politics who led the House of Representatives for, well, again, most of the 1990s. So, brilliant concept to get Newt Gingrich to do this.
Let's call it despicable, and the consequences can be devastating.
I could not believe that we actually were getting evicted from our home that we did not sell. There were several things that was left in the house, family pictures. We'll never get.
And so, of course, that's a testimonial from a woman. The music goes with this beautifully. The visuals that go with this are incredible. She just mentioned family pictures. On screen right now is a picture of some family photographs, one of them of 3 children, right dead center, 3 children. So the subtle, the underlining influence there, the underlining idea is this is impacting your children and your grandchildren as well. And, of course, there's pictures of their house and their pool, so all the photos are gone.
It's back.
Join us. Discover the facts about home title theft, a crime growing 2.5 times faster than credit card fraud, and how your house could be stolen without you knowing for months.
The nice thing about having your credit card stolen is that the moment you notice it's stolen, there are federal laws that force the bank to reverse the charges. But there's...
Oh my God, the music is just fantastic for this. It fits the mood. It fits the attitude of this infomercial brilliantly. And this is a full 30-minute infomercial. This is not a little 2-minute during a commercial break commercial. There's forms of that. But this is the full 30-minute infomercial about title theft.
Protection if I take your house.
Watch highlights of the Newt Gingrich town hall. See exactly how the crime works.
So this evening, I'm going to show you just how.
And it's people in chairs in what looks like an auditorium, socially distanced. So obviously this was recorded recently, and there's now a woman standing in front of a large screen, like she was going to give a presentation, and she's talking to these individuals.
Vulnerable your home title is by way of demonstration.
And find out what it's like to lose your most valuable asset, your home, in an instant.
This exact thing happened to my aunt and uncle in California, and they lost their home.
And hear from the experts why Home Title Lock is the #1 name in home title protection.
Home Title Lock provides...
This is just, it's brilliant on so many levels. I mean, we could just sit here and we could analyze this for the next half hour. We're not going to do that. I mean, we don't have that much time remaining. But the fact of the matter is, this is perfectly produced. Everything about this, from the music to the people they've got involved in it. And this is just the opening. We're at a minute 18. No one is going to be able to tune away from that owns a house. You see that. And the film quality of this has come so far. Remember, old infomercials were always shot on videotape. They're doing them more now on film. So it has a much more professional feel to it. Obviously, this is going to be more expensive to produce, but the results have to be astronomically good for this.
Early warning if your title is disturbed in any way, and then Home Title Lock helps you correct the issue.
Newt Gingrich here for Home Title Lock, with a warning to homeowners. The type of fraud you really need to worry about is home title fraud, where criminals...
Damn! They went all out with that one. Oh, the words flying in on the screen, the thud, thud, thud. This is modern day, friends. This is how far we've come. We have come from tiny classified ads in my tiny 1-bedroom apartment to this. Oh my word. It really is brilliantly done on all levels. They hit every mark. This is basically, it's selling fear. And that's one of the strongest things that you can use, one of the strongest techniques that you can use to sell a product on television is fear. This is not going at the heartstrings. This is going at, holy yes, this could happen to me. It's happened to all these other people. And so it's selling fear. And it's a brilliant example of it. Again, I've never seen that infomercial in my life. I will probably at some point watch the whole thing just to see, because it's, wow, that really is impressive. Hey, short show today. One more thing. Sorry, one more thing. There was one more thing I wanted to do. Some of you might have noticed that as of our last show, I had a little different theme music playing. That is partially because, well, not partially, mainly because of the copyright police. So I used to use that back 15 years ago when I did a podcast called The Sean Show, which thankfully I think most of the episodes no longer exist. It was not that good. It was fun for me to do, but it was not that good. But anyway, and so I used it then, had no problems at all. Now, all of a sudden, I'm finding out from YouTube, because I do post these episodes to YouTube as well, that someone has the copyright to that, and I can't use it. If I ever think about monetizing this, that's not going to work. So what I've done is I've gone back. Now, there used to be a time when all of the shopping networks basically had their themes. QVC had their theme music, and Home Shopping Network had their theme music. This goes back to the Value Vision days where there wasn't necessarily theme music. And by the way, theme music is brilliant marketing too. It's one of the areas where I think the networks have kind of fallen down on things, is there's really no theme music. It's a great way to connect your brand with the customer. But times change. And so the hosts had a tendency sometimes to have theme music. And here we're going to go back to 1997. This is Value Vision 19, and I got to get back to this channel here. Value Vision 1997. This would have been the start of one of my shows. The show was called Goodbye Tuesday, and right now is just an opening little graphic that has come up. It says Goodbye Tuesday. It says Value Vision. Wide shot of the studio.
We are back. We are here in the warehouse for our Goodbye Tuesday. This is going to be a fun show. We got a lot of good things in store for you. That's Mike back there.
That was the music that I was using. Well, I ran it through. That was my theme music, so that started most of my shows. Ran it through a program to see if it's kosher to play without any copyright issues, and, well, the answer is yes. So that's the real reason for the change. And, you know, and it is funny, too. Not funny, haha, but, again, in this time where I don't know, things are more litigious, yes. You do have to be more careful of these things. And so before you go into marketing any product, before you go into any sort of as seen on TV marketing campaign or job, check all the boxes. Make sure that no one else already has it. Listen, I'm going to take a little bit of a break here. I have some vacation that I'm going to be taking, but we'll be back in just a couple weeks' time with a new episode. I hope you'll check me out on Twitter at Sean Wilsey, ShawnWilsie, and on Instagram at SWilsey. Thank you for all of your 5-star ratings, and I do appreciate that more than you can ever imagine. It's fantastic you do take time to do that, and thank you for downloading this edition of Are We on the Air? This has been a King Bobby production.
Yes, I know, Travis. That's why we give such bargains.